Today we're tackling neck and shoulder tension and hopefully relieving some of that tension. I'm going to walk you through very simple moves to help mobilize the neck and shoulders as well as the arms, and we're going to do it all standing. So all you need is a floor underneath you and a wall. So the first thing we're going to do is come to standing with your feet, maybe hips to shoulders distance. I like to have a little softness in my knees, maybe not quite a bend. And you're going to bring your ears over your shoulders the best that you can. Softening the ribs, keep the knees loose, make sure you're not tucking your pelvis or arching your, you kind of like want to aim your pubic bone and tailbone straight down in between your inner ankles. And then you're going to take one ear to one shoulder. Try not to take your whole spine without just the cervical spine, ear to shoulder. Now tuck your chin under, so you're going to make a double chin. Keep that chin tuck as you look towards your armpit. Hold there and just gently nod yes. So just hold there. Now notice if your other shoulder is trying to pull forward with that, can you keep that shoulder that we're stretching, that neck, you're going to keep that back as you nod yes. Breathing. And then find your nod. Keep your chin nod as you take the ear back to the shoulder. Release the chin nod and bring your head center. We're going to go to the other side. Other ear to shoulder. Nod your chin down. Rotate to look to that armpit. And say yes with that chin, right? So there's a lot of double chin action here at the beginning. Just check and see if that shoulder is rounded forward. And could you just gently bring it back as you keep nodding? Breathing. And then keep the nod, take the ear to the shoulder, bring your head back to center. We're going to do that one more time each side. Ear to shoulder, chin nod. Look towards the armpit with the chin nod. Nod the chin, yes. Don't try and force yourself into more range of motion than you need. And then rotate so your ear goes back to your shoulder, release your chin nod, and come all the way up. Other ear to other shoulder. I can feel my whole spine wanting to get involved, and shoulders. So just getting that cervical spine. I'm still thinking length as I do that. Nod my chin. Take my chin to my shoulder, or my armpit, excuse me, and then saying yes. Feels so good on the back of that neck, but also in the side that I'm shortening a little bit. It's really intriguing to me to see what I observe. And then take your ear back to your shoulder and bring your head center. From there, very simply, again, make sure your knees aren't locked. You're going to inhale and shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. I want you to think about lifting those ribs up. Acknowledge that your ribs are what your shoulders need to be resting on. So as you exhale, don't push your ribs and chest down. As you exhale, let your shoulders fall onto your rib cage and your ribs will soften naturally. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up again. Squeezing those shoulders up towards your ears. Now notice when you do that, did your chin draw up? Maybe do that, exaggerate that. Could you bring your chin down? Could you bring your head level? I'm going to up and down again. It feels really good. And then on your exhale, slowly bring your shoulders onto those ribs. One more like that. Inhale, lifting everything up. Hold there for a second. Really let those ribs lift up. And then as you exhale, let the shoulders melt down onto the ribs. And then we're going to take that into circles. So we're going to inhale as we take the shoulders forward and up. Exhale as you slide those shoulder blades together in the back and draw them down. Inhale as you go forward and up. Exhale as you squeeze them together as you go back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Hold there for a second, and then we're going to reverse it. So we're going to inhale as you go back and up. So inhale as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift them up towards your ears. Exhale as you roll forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. One more. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down, and then just shake that loose. I like to step my feet a little bit wider, and I like to move with this we're gonna do, instead of arm circles, we're gonna do a PNF pattern for the shoulder, which is essentially moving your shoulder in this equal but opposite pattern. So you're gonna take one arm, you're gonna flip the palm forward, so we're in external rotation of your whole arm. You're gonna bring that across the body and up high. So externally rotated across the center line and up high. You could do this with your feet just planted. I like to move with it. That's just what I like to do. So whatever works for you. Then you're going to internally rotate that arm. So internally rotate, bring it down outside the body. So you're not bringing it across, and behind you a little bit. And as I get into this flow, you turn out, you bring it across and up. I like to follow my hand. Turning in, down, and back. Externally rotate, bring it across and up. Internally rotate, bring it down, back, and out. 2 more. Externally rotate it, bring it up and across. Internally rotate, bring it down and back. 1 more. Externally rotate across and up. Internally rotate down and back. Come center there, shake that out. Breathe, we do the other side. Externally rotate, bring it across and up. Internally rotate, bring it down and back and out. Remember, so not across the midline. Turn it out, bring it across and up. Internally rotate, down and back. Externally rotate, across and up. Internally rotate and down and back. 2 more. And bring it across and up. Remember to breathe. Keep the rest of your body nice and loose. Last one. Externally rotate across and up. Internally rotate across or out and down. And then come to center and shake that out. And now we're going to do a simple chest stretch. So you can just simply take your hands, clasp them behind you. I like to take my hands to my sacrum or your butt crack. Elbows are going to kind of reach back, and you're going to see, can I squeeze my shoulder blades together? Now, if you don't have a lot of shoulder mobility, this starts to round forward, and this angle is not actually stretching. So if that happens to you, what I want you to do is just take one arm to your wall, and I want you to see how close or far from the wall can you go, and keep that open at the shoulder, right? So you can just do that and just get your pec stretch, and you want to change the angle. So you can be down lower or up higher, but we're trying to get this to scroll up and back, not rib flare, shoulder mobility. Now, if you can, you're going to take the hands to the sacrum, elbows bent, and you're going to slowly see how far back can you stretch those arms. My shoulder blades are drawn together as I do this. Now, a lot of times when we do this, ribs flare, butt reaches out, or butt tucks under, but the ribs flare. So you're going to try and keep your knees soft, pubic bone and tailbone reaching straight down, and you're going to use your abdominals a little bit to hold your rib cage steady as you try and get your shoulders, right? Remember, if your shoulders are so tight you can't do the hand clasp, 1, you could just try it without the hand clasp. 2, I really like the option of going to the wall and just taking one arm back and seeing how close or far away from the wall do you need to be as you do that. You're going to hold and just breathe there. And then you're going to release it and relax. Do a little shoulder roll. If you're at the wall and doing one side, this is a nice time to switch sides. If you're just doing both hands clasped together, you're going to do it one more time here. Shoulder blades retract. Remember to keep those ribs contained, especially in the front there. And then you just slowly try and straighten your arms the best you can, right? It may not be a straight arm if your hands are clasped, or it might be that your hands are not clasped. You're just reaching back. Sometimes I'll have clients use a block or a circle to hold between their hands as we practice this. So whatever works for you. And then I sometimes also like to look around with my head. Maybe do a little chin nod up and down. Look side to side. Because the pec musculature also can pull in the clavicle, which then pulls into these neck muscles. So just play around with all of those sensations in there, and then breathe and release. Shake it out. Now we're going to take the shoulder the other way. You're going to reach one arm out in front of you. You're going to bring it across the body. The other arm is going to come and hook that hand. So almost like in yoga, they do like a eagle pose, I think. I'm not a yoga teacher, so you guys can let me know, but I'm pretty sure eagle pose is where you cross your arms there and you have a little leg thing. We're just doing the arm portion, but we're not going to do that both arms bent. We're just going to bring one arm across, take the other hand to grab it. But what you're going to do here is, 1, try not to twist your ribs or your pelvis. Square that off. So again, a little abdominals. I'm going to breathe and make sure my shoulders are not pushing down, but they're not elevated. They're just resting on my ribs. My neck is free. Push this arm that is across. Push it against this hand that's pulling so that you are active even though you're pulling into a stretch, right? Can I keep my ribs centered and stable as I bring that arm across, and I'm pushing my arm away from me as I'm simultaneously pulling it in. And you're going to do 3 deep breaths here. 3. Keep that consistent pressure. 2. 1. Then release. We're going to do the other side. You're going to bring the other arm out in front of you, bring it across, take the hand to the arm, and you're going to see like it feels wildly different on this shoulder. I immediately want to rotate my ribs, so I'm going to think, okay, rib cage over pelvis, pelvis stacked, wiggling around. So I'm going to take a moment to find where I need to be, where my scapula here is kind of wrapping around those ribs, but my ribs are stable, and then can I get this pressure between my hand and my arm? And then I'm going to take 3 deep breaths there when I get that set up and I get that resistance going. 3, 2, and last one. Release that arm, shake it out. Now you're going to move to the wall. So your feet will be about 1 foot to 2 feet away from the wall. You can keep your knees a little bent. You're going to wiggle back so you feel your sacrum and your butt towards the wall, and then you're going to wiggle so you feel as much of your rib cage on the wall as possible, and then the shoulder blades, and maybe the head, but maybe not. I'd rather you prioritize the rib cage against the wall than the head. Then you're going to bring your arms into a goal pose or cactus position with a 90-degree bend at the elbow, trying to get the elbow straight out from the shoulder, and in a dream scenario, we have everything back against the wall. But if you find yourself hunching and your neck gets short, then maybe you need to wedge a foam roller behind you, like from head to tail, the foam roller wedges between you and the wall so you can get your shoulders down and your arms back. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to bring your elbows forward, but your fingertips can go back. Something like that, so you can play with it. You're going to inhale and stretch the arms into a V overhead. Can your ribs stay back against the wall? Exhale, slide the arms down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sliding down. Just 2 more. Inhale, reaching up. Can your neck stay long? Can your ribs stay back? Can your tail stay free? 1 more, inhaling. Exhaling down. Then bringing your arms just down by your side. Do a little shoulder roll. Wiggle the ribs. Wiggle the knees a little bit. And then check in with your feet. Your feet can push into the ground to help you get your butt and your rib cage back. Now we're going to do a very simple trapezius stretch. So you're going to take, again, 1 ear to 1 shoulder. And then you're going to reach down and out through that opposite arm. So you're going to, whatever side you're stretching, basically, the ear goes to 1 shoulder. The opposite arm is just going to reach out. And I'm going to see if I can bring my shoulders back towards the wall, bring my ribs back to the wall, and just reach out through that. And then I'm going to move my hand around. So it's not just upper trapezius, it's also the nerve complex of your brachial plexus that runs through this very narrow canal between your brain, basically through from your skull basically down to your neck into your thorax. Remember to breathe. If you want more stretch, you can reach out through those fingertips more, reaching kind of down and out. Take your other hand and pull very gently. So when I say pull, I don't want to mean pull your neck over. I want you to think about lengthening your ear away from your hand. I'm not pushing my shoulder down. I'm thinking about lengthening my ear. And as I do that, I'm pulling with that one hand. I'm going to push my head against that hand that's gently tractioning it so that I am still getting engagement and control. I'm never just passively stretching this. I'm always looking to lengthen as I do this. Breathe and then release. Take a moment, shake it out. We're going to do the other side. Ear to the other shoulder. Reach the other arm out. Take a moment and just move the hand around. So I'm kind of flexing at the wrist, and I will say pointing. So you're just like just moving that wrist around. Maybe you wiggle the fingers. I'm going to hold there and just reach the fingers sort of out and away from that ear. I'm going to take my other hand across. I'm going to kind of traction that ear away from those fingertips, keeping my ribs with the wall. You are going to gently press that head into that hand and breathe. And lengthen. Take one more breath there. And then release. Then we're going to come to facing the wall. When you're facing the wall, we're going to step 1 foot forward against the wall. And essentially, you can do this kneeling. This is thread the needle, but we're going to do it at the wall. You can, by all means, come down to the mat and do it kneeling. You're going to take 1 foot forward towards the wall and the other foot back. So you get a little calf stretch. You're going to take your hands against the wall. So you might be farther out, you might be farther forward. Just depends on your length. Hands go to the wall at shoulder height. And we are going to play around with taking the arm of the back leg out today. So we could do either side, but we're going to take the arm of the back leg and we're going to thread it underneath the hand that's on the wall. And I'm going to think about my rotisserie rib cage, and I'm going to draw my belly in up, and I'm going to ease that front knee towards the wall, and I'm going to push this back of my hand that's threaded. I'm going to push that against the wall. As I take my hand that's just pushing into the wall, I'm going to let that help me press and rotate into that bottom shoulder. Breathing there. And then opening out. And as you open out, you could even reach that arm behind you. And then doing that one more time, threading that arm. Breathing. You go as close to the wall as possible. If you want to take the head against the wall, that's fine. Ease that front knee forward. Draw the belly in and up. Make sure the ribs aren't pushing too far forward. You push into the wall and you open all the way up. Bring both hands forward, step the front foot back, step the other foot forward. You're going to press and we're going to reach the other arm out. So the back leg arm reaches out. You thread that arm underneath. You bend the wall hand. You bring that elbow. Remember, the hand that's on the wall, the palm, is going to push and lean you into your other shoulder. And then that arm that's reaching across is simultaneously pushing against the wall. So you're active in this. Front knee eases forward to the wall and you breathe. And then you push into the wall and you open up. And then you do that again. You reach across and you breathe. And you ease the front knee forward, and then you open up. Then we're going to put both hands on the wall, and everyone is a little bit different in their body proportions, so you have to play with like what you need. You're going to press the wall away, reach the heels down, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep the heels reaching down and back, reach the hips back, draw the belly in, and push the wall away with your arms. So like a wall downward dog. Letting your scapula do what we call upward rotation. Now, can you keep those ribs contained? Can you not overly tuck your butt? Can you reach your hips back? Let that go. Don't think shoulders down the back here. Just think, I gotta just press, press, press. And as you do that, I want you to hold there and breathe into that stretch. If you need to step your feet forward or back, do so. But I want you to hold there. And now I want you to think about sliding your hands down the wall, even though they're not physically going to go anywhere. Just do that. Now breathe again. That imaginary pulling the hands down the wall to engage as you're also pushing the wall away. One more breath there. And then pulling those hands down the wall, pulling forward into kind of a wall plank. Step your feet forward and relax. And then I hope that we have relieved some of that neck and shoulder tension by moving and gliding the tissues around the neck and moving the shoulders dynamically and engaging the breath with those movements. Hopefully has created a little bit more balance in all of those structures that we need to support us, but they get tired through the day, and they get tired because we're doing things in our life and we get a little out of sync with our ideal alignment, we will say. But, we're moving through life and you're getting things done. So anytime you need this, come back to this practice, any part of it. Maybe you just pick 3 of the moves because that's what you remember. Do that. That's helpful, right? It's something, and something is better than nothing. And so until next time, keep moving.